Hi, my name is Don Boldt, and welcome to the 10-Minute Parent. In the 10-Minute Parent, we try to squeeze into some little short videos lessons about how to be a good parent that are taken from the Bible. And the idea is that over a course of time, you can learn some things that will make you a very good parent. All right. So today, I want to talk to you a little bit about rebellion. All right, because if you've had children for very long, you know that's an issue you're going to have to address. I remember one time talking to somebody, and they found out that I did parent education, and so we were talking about all this, and and I was talking about how that we are addressing in our children the sin nature, and this person was like shocked. They said, "Oh my, no, children are just basically good." And I looked at them and said, "Have you ever actually had children?" And she said, "Well, yeah." And I said, "Well, how many?" So she had 3, and I said, "Let me ask you a question. Did you ever have to teach them to lie?" "No." It says cheat, steal, be cruel. "And do you ever have to teach them to do any of those things?" She said, "No." I said, "I trust they did all those things?" She goes, "Well, yeah." I said, "Did you ever have to teach them to be honest, to be kind, to be..." And she says, "Well, yeah." I said, "See, we're working against this thing that's in that child's heart. All right, the Bible calls it foolishness that needs to be separated from them, or they're going to live their whole life in that foolishness." All right, so today I want to talk about rebellion. Okay, why? Well, because it's something that we need to understand, and it's something we need to learn how to deal with. But I want you to understand that there are different kinds of rebellion, and that's all I really want to get across here today. On the one side over here, and I'm just going to step a little bit and wait for my cameraman to see if he has to adjust a little bit, but you have just this very blatant kind of rebellion. And I will just say that in my experience, much more common to little boys. Hey, little girls can find their way into this, I realize, but just this time where you say, "Look, you need to do this," and they stick out the lip and they just say, "No." All right, and that is just blatant, just in your face. "You can't tell me what to do." All right, let's try this out. See if I can get my way by just saying, "You can't tell me what to do." This is rebellion. All right, and to understand, that's so recognizable, and so we tend to see it. Rebellion, we recognize it. I know that, the textbook, yeah, that's rebellion over there. And but that's the real recognizable one. But what I want you to understand is that, just next to, where we just were there, well, what about the child that when you tell them what to do, thinks this was an invitation to a discussion about whether or not they really need to do it? So I tell them to do something, and they say, "Well, but I have stuff that I'm already doing," and in essence, they're accomplishing the same thing, all right, which is that through this trying to entertain me in some kind of big discussion about this thing rather than do what I asked them to do, they're still getting their way. They're not doing what I asked them to do. This is still rebellion, all right. Oh dear, well, I'll just take a fake step here because we're going to run into a wall here. But but then next to that, what about the person who just has this tendency towards dragging their feet a little bit? They're getting to it, but you're wondering if they will ever arrive at this place of actually obeying you. They're making this gradual movement, hoping that your attention will shift in a different direction, and that they'll actually be able to, once you look away, not do what you said. We're still dealing with rebellion here. And then there's my favorite one, which I refer to as, I'm going to take another fake step here. All right, is sleepy-eyed rebellion. Now, sleepy-eyed rebellion. This was I had a friend that just was in class, and he just started laughing in class when I talked about this. It's this, you tell your child what to do, and they don't move. All right, you say, "Now go on, go do what I asked you to do," and 10 minutes later, you find them in the hall, and you say, "Did you do what I asked you to do yet?" "Well, I was just on my way." And this thing where, I just forgot, but to understand that sleepy-eyed rebellion over here, which is, I would just say in my experience, much more common amongst my girls than amongst my boys, is every bit as rebellious is the child over on the other side who just stuck their lip out and said no. All right, and you're still dealing with this, and you might say, "But wait a minute, I have those same feelings." Well, no one said that you were completely over rebellion in your own life. There was a fellow by the name of Derek Prince who said, "Hey, there are no mysteries. Rebellious parents, rebellious children." It was an observation that he had made. And to understand that you're probably still dealing with some of this rebellion in your own heart. And so trying to deal with it in your children, sometimes it can be easy to overlook what's going on in their lives. I was talking with Daniel, our cameraman, a little bit earlier about how difficult it is for somebody in authority in a place of being the judge to deal with something in somebody else that they see in themselves. All right. There was a local judge who was famous for giving very light sentences to people for drunk driving. And it was always a mystery to people because he was, pretty firm in other areas of his judgments. But what happened is that, when it came to drunk driving, he just seemed to take a little easier approach with people. Well, then when he got arrested for drunk driving, I think it became more apparent to people that it was because it was difficult for him to be hard in the area where he was struggling himself. And so to understand, when dealing with rebellion in your children, whether it's the more graphic sort or the more sleepy-eyed sort, to remember that it's important for us to deal with the things that are going on inside of ourselves and to take the time and get before the Lord and pray and just say, God, I need help with my own rebellion if I'm going to deal with it in my children. And so with that, I'm going to say God bless you. We'll look forward to seeing you in the next session here at the 10-Minute Parent.